Alright guys, so I'm taking a look at the IM, which was just released a day ago here in Shanghai, and I'm going to do a walk around for you. It's an amazing vehicle here. Let's start by looking at the top there. If I can just, the car is so high, so I need to zoom in. So if you look up there, you can see two LED light strips, so one from here to there and another one on the other side, and in the middle you have the radar sensor. And then you come down here, you have some cameras on the windshield for the rain sensing wipers and safety and all other functions. So kind of like what is put on off-road vehicles, you have extra lighting on the top there, which is integrated in the roof. So that's really cool. Let me zoom back out and we can see the windshield is wide windshield, and when you come to the bonnet, it's a complete flat bonnet and only curves on the sides. Size wise, I would say this car is similar to the size of a Lincoln Navigator. It's really huge and really long. And let me just go to the side so we can see the length of the bonnet. So the bonnet starts from here, goes all the way to the other side. It's really, I would say it's about a meter and a half or a meter and quarter, something in that range. Now, if we come down here, you will see the IM logo. I really love this logo. And we come down to the lighting department. It has this LED daytime running light strip that runs all the way to the side. And it doesn't just end on the side, it climbs to the side of the vehicle as well. So that's really nice. Kind of like what is on the leash arm. And we come down here, you have this flat panel here. And then here you have LS9 indicated there on the number plate placement area. Down here you have a lidar sensor here and a camera integrated in there, and because it's a hybrid, you have opening for the air intake for the radiators, but it's closed right now and it will only open when it's needed. And if we go on to the side, you have your very nice aluminum trim here, and then you have your proximity sensors there, and we can see some LED light in here as well, done really nicely in this great form. And then down here you have the headlamps in 3, 1, 2, and 3 LEDs. And then you have another strip here which will double as the turn signal. And if I step back a little, we can see the very wide design. Now we look at the tire department. So it comes with Continental tires, Eco Contact Q6, and it comes in tire sizes 19, 20, 21, and 22 rim options. And it comes in 265, 40 rim 22 for this particular one. And you look at the design of the rim, kind of like what you have on the Maybachs and the other, and it looks really nice, very thick and durable metal here. And in there we can see the air suspension going on there. So if I step back, we can see some cameras going on here. So you got one here, one there, and another camera here, all for the 360 view and safety features. And if you look up here, you got NFC entry. So let me just step back so we can see the full scale of the car. The length of the car is 5 meters, 5.3 meters, so it's a really long car. I have to step way back to be able to capture it in the camera. And it has this pop-out style door handles, and you don't have to pull it. There's a sensor in there, so once your hand gets in there, it pops out, and it's electronically aided, so it's gonna try to open it for you. And it's soft closed doors as well. Now, one neat feature is it's got runners on the bottom, so if I open the door, they're going to pop out because it can be raised really high. Then you can step on them to get in the car. At the moment, it's raised to its highest level, so you can see the clearance, but because it's air suspension, you can lower it to your desired height. Now, if we look here, I'm 183 centimeters and I can't see the top of the car. So this is a really high car, and it got these nice black trims around the windows. And then we step back to the rear door. You can see how wide the rear door is, and it's the same mechanism here. So soft closed doors, soft open doors, and we'll get into the interior very soon. But as you can see, it comes with Bang and Olufsen speakers. Who puts Bang and Olufsen speakers in cars? That's really insane. Now we look down here, we got this aluminum trim here on the bottom of the door. Now let's look at the rear tire. So it's the same story going on there. So it's 265 40 rim 22, same as the front. And with the air suspension raised, look at the amount of clearance that's in the wheel well. That's really insane. You've got some nice carpet material to stop noise from entering the cabin. And then let's go on to the charging here. So you press start to open, and you have your ports for fast charging and slow charging. And it's got a light indicator here to show your charging status. And to close it up, you just press that button and it's going to go back electronically. So that's not new there. There are other cars with that function, but if we look out here, you get this huge window from here to the other side. It's one piece, which looks amazing. And then we'll get to the boot in a moment. I'll show you a neat function on how to open the boot. Now if we look here, you got your daytime running lights here stretching from the side, breaks off here, and then it continues, and this curvature, and then straightens in the middle, and then curves again and ends on the other side. And then you also, just like the front, you also have these graded LEDs in there. And one neat feature about IM cars is it's got this nice screen on the back where you can display, you can indicate or write a message on the screen, on the infotainment screen, and it will display it here. At the moment, you get this cute puppy displaying here, but you can put messages like hello or please turn down your headlamps, things like that. So you can actually communicate with drivers behind. So it's not just a gimmick, it's a useful screen integrated in this lighting body. And then in here you have your IM bold logo, and I like that it's not one of those flimsy sort of materials. This is real aluminum slapped on here, so it's gonna last a lifetime. And we got our number plate placement area here. You got your number plate lighting, you got a camera here, you got an aluminum trim running all across, and down here you got your reverse lights for both left and right integrated together with some reflectors. And as you can see, it's got very nice clearance, and although it's hybrid and there's an exhaust, you don't see the exhaust until you go way down low. So that's really cool. You can see all the bits, metal bits and suspension going on there. Really high car. So if I step back a little, this is the profile we're seeing. Very neatly done. Now let's move on to the top. So you have a brake light bar here. So it's a one piece that goes all across to the other side, and you got another camera here. You got a rear window blacked out from factory, so you don't have to do it aftermarket. And there's another aluminum trim going all across. So I've always liked this car because this brand, they seem to use very premium materials, and it looks like it's well put together. And being a hybrid, you can fill your 1.5 liter engine with some petrol or gas, depending on where you're watching me from, and you can go up to about 1,500 kilometers on a full tank and full charge. So that's really cool. And only the CLTC range of electric only is around 400 kilometers. So that is impressive already. Now we go down here, and then it's the same story as the driver's side. So I'm not going to spend too much time here because the view here is going to be the same as on the driver's side. Now let's continue with the interior, starting from the boot. So let me just show you two ways you can open the boot. So one is a conventional way where you just press to open, and you can see the lights flash once or twice, and then the boot opens. I told you there's another neat feature on how to open the boot. So to do that, you just knock twice and it opens. And I like that it's on the driver's side, so the driver can just come in, and before they get to the boot itself, they can just knock twice on that side right below the light assembly around here, and the boot will open. So by the time you get to the back, the boot is already open for you. And it's really high at 183 centimeters. I'm nowhere close to the boot lid. So even if you're taller than me, it's going to be fine. And as you can see, it has a very nice interior. It's plastic though, but it's cool because it's things you're going to put there, not human beings. But it has a really wide opening, and even with the 6 seats up, you still have, I would say, adequate space for one huge suitcase and small bits and pieces here and there. And with a car race, it's just perfect to my waist. So if I'm loading things up, it's going to be easy. But if you're loading heavy things, because it's got air suspension, you can lower it. And it's got some really nice carpet on the false floor. And to raise it, I can just pull this up. And you have a little bit of extra space on the bottom here, which you can store bits and pieces. But in there you have your tow bar, tow hook, you have your safety triangle, you got some reflectors here for safety, and then you got your speaker grills here, one on this side, one on the other side. And remember, I mentioned Bang & Olufsen, so this is super premium. And you have this button for your suspension. You got this one for reclining the seat. So when I press it, we can see the seat going on there, and I can bring it back. And this one, the other button here, press the other seat. So all very straightforward. But as you can see, the seat backs have a combination of carpet, fabric, and leather. So that's really nice. You got some tethering hooks here. And then on both left and right, you got some boot lighting. So that's really cool. And then you also have some hooks here for hanging things. I don't think it will take heavy stuff, but if it's just a little shopping plastic or something, you can just hang it there, or a handbag, something like that. And then we look here and we have a 220 volt AC socket here. So that's a 3-pin full socket, and then you have a 12 volt socket here as well. I like the combination of the beige and the kind of like light sort of gray color here. That's really nicely done. So let's move on now to the middle row seat. So you just press that to shut it. It's a little slow, but it will eventually go down. All right, so we're going to the second row seat now, and again, soft closed doors and has a sensor, so it just pops out nicely. The door opens to about, I would say, 70 degrees thereabout. And let's look at the configuration of the door. So you got some very nice soft padding on the edges to prevent noise and debris from getting in the car. And as you can see, it's very wide. And we look at the door here, so we have some netting. They are not electronic, but on very hot days you can just do it manually, that's fine. And then down here we got wood trim here with your speaker grills from Bang & Olufsen. They feel very, the grills themselves already feel very premium. So speaker grills there, this is the button for pressing to open the door. You got some ambient lighting here in this strip, and you get some very nice stitching here. Feeling here, very comfortable, so it feels like Napa leather. And then you got, so it's two-tone, there's this color here and this light brown here and the beige down there. And then you have your button for raising your window, which goes up and down relatively fast. And then you go down here, you got another ambient lighting strip here, and then a different texture of plastic down here. And then you get your storage area, and then you get this latch here, emergency latch for when the electronics fail. Get another speaker grill down here. So if I step back, this is what you're seeing, and the doors go all the way down, so it's going to cover this whole area to prevent debris from hitting your clothes on very bad weather days. Now if we look here, we can see that the opening is very wide, so to get in will be quite easy. Now let's look here. So you got all the operations here for the seat comfort, lumbar support, massage, that kind of thing. And then you get a zero gravity seat function here. So if I press it, you can see the driver's seat moving forward. On most SUVs you don't have it, but on this one it's available even for the passenger behind the driver. Once the driver's seat moves forward, you can see the middle seat move into the gravity position. So that's really nice. And you got airbag, so you got side airbags. It's got nice bolsters on the sides of the seat, and to get it back up I just press and hold, and then the whole function goes back to its original position. And it's really fast as well, so that's really nice. And look at the amount of space here. It's huge spacing. I like the nice seating, so it's heated and ventilated as well. And you can see even before you hit the cushions, it's very cushy. And you got your isofix anchor points there. You got your headrest, and it's interesting that they have this here so you can insert some sort of pillows for your neck. Overall, I like the color of this interior, and I think this is way too much space. We'll be moving to the seats. Let's do that now. So when I sit in the passenger seat, obviously the driver's seat is way too forward now, but when I sit in the passenger seat and I shut the door, sounds closes with a really nice thumb. But to get some lighting, let me just open the door. You can see some interior lighting around this wood trim as well. And if we look here, we can see our air vents that are directly facing the passenger, so it's easy to control the airflow direction. And if we look up here, we have our interior lighting, which are touch sensitive. You get another speaker grill right on the top of your head. You get some very premium feeling grab handles here. You got some vents coming from here, and you also get some microphone inlets here. And if you look here in front, behind the driver you don't have a table, but the passenger behind the front passenger has a table, which I'll show you in a moment. And then you get some pockets here for storage. And while I'm here, let me take a look at some of the other functions on the seat. So unlike other cars where this armrest is raised manually, for this one you just press this button and it goes up automatically. So how cool is that? And if I want to get it back, I just press it and it comes back down. I don't know if that is necessary, but it's there if you want it. And if you look here, you can see your ventilation. So yes, 3-speed ventilator seats, 3-level heated seats, and 3-level massage seats. So I've just hit the massage, and if you look carefully, you can see the massage function going on there. So that's really neat that they have it. But this is a little bit wobbly, but I don't think it's a problem because your hand is going to be rested on it anyway, so that's fine. You got your seatbelt hook here. Let me just get this out of the way so I can show you some functions here. So if you look here, you have an area here where you can store your phone, and it's got this rubber here. It's very flexible, which will make way for you to be able to slide your phone there and to hold it in place. And then you have this covered here, which is 60 watt. I'm not sure if the phone is doing justice, but it's the 60 watts there. 60 watt type C wired charging here. 60 watts. Some phones cannot even do 60 watt charging, and cars can do that now. That's really insane. And it's basically the same setup on the other seat behind the passenger. But look at that. Just like on the Onvo L90, you have a remote control for controlling the 18-inch screen, floating screen for the rear passengers. So that's really cool. So passengers in the third row seat can actually control the screen when they are sat there. And speaking of the screen, let me just talk about it now. So you have the screen, I believe it's 18 inches. And as you can see, it's not the first. I mean, many Chinese brands have been doing that for a while now. But The rear passengers have their own entertainment, and it's a huge screen. I'm not sure if the camera is doing justice, but as you can see, as usual, you can have all your apps populated here. You can also do some setting changes here. I like that this one pops really quickly. It's not one of those that have delay in them once you press it. So yeah, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, cameras, alarm, all that kind of thing, setting up the brightness. And then you also have settings here. Obviously, they're not going to give you everything. Some settings will be reserved for front passengers, but you got internet, you got Bluetooth, you got all the other functionality. So when you hit there, you can see your quick, what I'll call widgets, and then you can go back to the full screen. How cool is that? So yeah, that's it for the screen. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of functionality, but the main purpose of it is for infotainment of the rear passengers. And if we just look here, I'm quite far back. Let me move forward. So for the rear passengers, you have, for the mid-row passengers, you have two cup holders here, which is really neat. And some cars will put it on the side here, but I think it's nicely done here. And then you got this screen here, which is for climate control for the mid-row passengers. You can set the temperature that is coming out of here. You can also, so the top part is for the climate control, and the down part is for the fridge, which is openable by pressing this eject button, and it makes way to this fridge. And if you don't want it, you can just push it back, and you get your controls here for setting the temperature and for different purposes. And like I showed you earlier, so the passenger behind the front passenger has a dedicated table for working or for eating or for writing or any kind of purpose that you might have for it. Let me go to the third row seat. So checking out the third row seat, and as you can see, it comes with panoramic sunroofs, but it breaks off in the middle for the screen. And if you look here, you got air vents right on the top of the passengers. And then we look at the side, so you have a dedicated window for the third row seat. You got speaker grills here, you got interior lighting, and then you got a button for heater seat, so there's no ventilation on the third row seat, just heated. But you also have a button to recline the seat, and it reclines really far. You can see it's almost lying down compared to the other one. And if I operate the button, you can see it coming up. One thing I like about this car is all the functionality works relatively fast, and to get the headrest, you just pull it up like that. And the third row seats have isofix anchor points as well, and they are not one of those cramped seats. Obviously the car is very long, and so even the third row seat at 183 centimeters, I have more than enough room, and I think I can do 1,000-kilometer journey in this car quite easily. So 1,000 kilometers shouldn't be a problem for me. As you can see, I have enough, not enough, but okay thigh support. And then with the middle row seat at a comfortable seating position, I still have more space in the third row seat, so that's really cool. So it's easy for me to show how it looks from the other side. So this is what you're seeing on the third row seat. And we're going to take a look at the front seat. So as you can see, it's got conventional mirrors. I like that. And then the front doors also open up to about 80 degrees, and same thing going on, lots of padding on the edges. And the design is basically similar to the rear, just the driver has obviously extra buttons for locking and unlocking, and then for raising and reducing the windows. And if we look here, very easy entry, kind of boxy, straightforward to the point. I like how it's been done. So again, you look at the seating, it's the same comfort is going on here, and I can feel the seat is warm. Someone's turning on. It's got nice pillows that you can have for the driver, and I just like the color combination that IM uses for their cars. It just makes so much sense. So you got your basic recline, seat forward and back buttons. Now let's jump into the driver's seat. So sitting in the driver's seat, Let's start from the top. So from the top, you have in the middle, you have a hazard button here, and then you have an SOS button for emergencies, and then you have interior lighting, which are touch sensitive, so that's really cool. I like how it's done. Very simple, two buttons, two lights on both ends, and that is done. And then we come down to the rear view mirror, and it's interesting because you can tack it away, and it has different levels of stop. So you pull it down, and then you can, it's smallish, but I believe it's been done like that because these days you have all these screens that will display what's behind you. So there's really no need to have a huge screen that is going to be in the way. And because you have all these screens to give you the feed from the cameras on the rear, you can actually tuck it away, which is, I believe, is a really nice feature to give you more room to see what's in front of you. So again, it has different stops, and then you can pull it down depending on your height. So that's a really neat feature. I think many more cars should be doing that. That is if you have a camera feed from the back and you only use this in case the camera is faulty or broken or something. And then we look up here right above the head of the driver, you have a speaker grill here, you got a microphone inlet here, and it's the same story on the passenger side. Now, before I come to the driver's side proper, let me just take a look at what the passenger is seeing. So you get some air vents coming from there. Very similar design to what is on the LS6 that I reviewed a while ago, the new version. So as you can see, there is a screen for the front passenger. And I like how it's been recessed into the dash. So it might not be the most elegant design, but it makes so much sense because it's not one of those ones that is slapped right in front of the front passenger. It's a recess, and so it's going to give it a little bit of distance. I believe it's good for the eye, and it just makes so much sense. It creates so much room for the front passenger. And we look at the glove box. So it's a nice size glove box, and I like that it's operated by button. You don't have to do it on the screen. You just press that and it will open, and it's completely lined with felt, and it's deep as well and wide. Closes nicely as well. And if we look here, we come down here, we have a look at the dash. So it's a relatively flat dash, as you can see. You got your HUD going on there. You can see a P right there, and then you got your Bang Olufsen, I believe, a subwoofer there. Sounds really good. Anyone who knows Bang Olufsen knows that it's a premium. Because of copyright, I can't play anything here, but I can tell you it sounds really good. And then here you got a sensor here to monitor the driver's tiredness and that kind of thing. And then we come to so I showed you earlier two cup holders for the rear passengers, and then you got two dedicated cup holders for the front passengers, I mean the driver and the front passenger. And you've got this split door for the storage area. And interestingly, the fridge that you can open from the back, you can also access it from the front. So the driver and the front passenger, they have their own unique door where you just pull it and you can grab something from it without depending on the rear passengers, and you shut it. And once you shut it, it also doubles as a storage area for the driver and passenger. And if we look here, we got a 60 watt wireless 60 watt charging port, type C, and then you get another type C and another type C. So three type C's here, but I believe the two on the sides are both 60 watt wireless charging, and the one in the middle is for source. So if you want to project something on the screen from a USB or some other device, you can use the middle port. And then you get a 12 volt socket here, which is nicely covered here. So that's nice. So yeah, that's about it for this storage area. It's not very deep, but it gives you access to the fridge, and then you can it also doubles as storage and then for charging as well. And to close it, you just push both sides and it clicks into place. Two cup holders, and then up here you have two wireless charging pads, which are 50 watt wireless charging pads. Not sure if you can see it on the camera, but it's indicated here. And this one also doubles as NFC. And then you got your air vents coming from here. Although the wireless charging pads have vents for cooling, you also have the vents from the AC right on top of it. And so irrespective of the direction you have the vents pointing, it's also going to blow some air onto the phone, so it's not going to heat up. And I believe that's a really neat feature. And if we come to the middle here, you can see some nice stitching on the bottom, and right up here you have some sort of piano style buttons here for controlling some quick functions. So you got this one to go back home, you got this for the heated windshield. Wow, activates really fast. And then you have this one for controlling your AC, so that's a quick button for that. I like that. This one for your fan speed, so you can click it and then you can control your fan speed. And then this is for some other temperature control. And this star one, I believe, is a button for setting a quick function if you want 1 and 2. So that's really neat. Apologies, the camera was far, but yeah, you get the idea of what I was trying to say. And then if we look at the dash itself in front of a driver, it's not one of those huge screens. It's a relatively small screen, but it's very visible for both the driver and the passenger. It's not in your face, but it's just done right. And it's just one piece that stretches from the middle to the left hand side. And I like this style of the steering wheel. It's a round steering wheel, only flattening on the bottom a little bit, so it's going to be comfortable for conventional drivers. And if we look here, let's look at the information. So you have your ambient indicators here, so it shows you the people around you, all the structures, the vehicles around you. And up here you get your parking indicator, seat belts, lighting, and the screen itself, I don't know how to describe it. It's very clear, but it's not in your face. It's not one of those blinding screens. It just gives you clear footage, but at the same time it is not in your face. Kind of like there's a film on it, but there's no film on it. It's just the quality of the screen that I'm trying to describe now. So it's very comfortable to the eye. And down here you have your gear indicator here, and then you got your charge situation, your CLTC range, so you can see your fuel gauge, and then you can also see your battery range left. And then here you got time, temperature, date, that kind of thing. So sat here, I can see clearly through this opening, so it's going to be very comfortable for the driver. And then you can see the gear indicator clearly indicated here, so the driver is going to know where their gear is. And then on the other side, which is the middle part, is where you would populate your maps and all those other functions. And let's just look at, so if I press this, it goes home, and then you press that for car settings. So the information, I believe you can change it in English. And then here you got your car settings, so lots of settings. And earlier on, this is what I said, that you can display the screen on the back is where you can display all these. So you can display hello baby, the cute puppy that we saw earlier. You got all kinds of other functions here, all kinds of other settings here, and you press here to populate your apps that you have that are installed or pre-installed, and your own installed apps. And then here you have your seat controls, you got your temperature settings here, fan speed, and that kind of thing. So I think it's done really nicely. And if we come down here to the steering wheel, it's got this two style sort of design. So on the outside is perforated, and on the inside is kind of smooth leather, feeling very soft. And on the left hand side you got your turn signal, and when you engage the turn signal, it activates the cameras on the side. So if I activate the left turn signal, then you can see camera feed of what's on the right hand, on the left hand side. So that's really cool. And this one also doubles as your wiper indicator, and also your lighting, high beam, low beam, that kind of thing. And then on the right hand side you have a stock for your gear lever stock. So all very straightforward. If you're coming from a conventional old car, everything is going to seem familiar here. It's not a huge departure from what a car should be, according to like what traditional drivers would think. But if we look at the steering wheel itself, it's very nice design. I like how the horn is designed right in the middle, and it protrudes really nicely. So even with your hand on this side of the steering wheel, you can still reach it. And then you get this button here for this rotor here for increasing the volume. You can see what happens on the screen, and then on the left hand side you can also activate certain functions if you set for it. So that's about it, just two rollers here, and that's it. Very neat. So your focus is going to be on the driving and not on pushing buttons on the screen. And you can see some ambient lighting on the sides as well. So right on the side of the steering wheel you can see some nice ambient lighting. I'm pretty sure it's going to look really cool at night. And if you look down here, you get some extra storage area here for storing things right below the center console. On the side of the steering wheel, you got these buttons here, probably for regen. I'm not really sure, but definitely will have its own functionality. And then on the stock that I showed you earlier, you got your wipers going on there. So yeah, overall a really nice design. And another neat feature is to shut the door. You just press the brake pedal and then the door shuts automatically. This is not new, but it's cool that it has it on this car. Alright guys, that's the end of this video. Thank you so much for sticking around. I'm truly grateful. If you're new to my channel, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to like the video as well. Till I see you in the next video, ride legal, ride safe always. Peace, and I'm out.